Hello everyone. Now today we are going to study about rest of portion related to forced spine. Okay. So let's go. We will start our today's class. Okay. So here our first thing related to forced spine is examination or diagnostic evaluation for the forced spine. So aim of examination is to pick up findings suggestive of TB related to forced spine, means TB in spine, to localize the site of lesion, find a skip lesion, to detect any associated complications. So this kind of thing is very important aim for the detection of the spine TB. Okay, so let's go. First important examination for the forced spine is physical general examination. To detect active or healed primary lesion, the patient may have some other systemic illness, diabetic, hypertension and jaundice, etc. So basically, student, we all are known by the physical examination. What we detect, we just detect symptoms. So here also, if we proper doing physical examination in which area, in the spine area, that condition we examine and we detect both kind of symptoms related to forced spine, active symptoms and healed primary symptoms. Okay, so it is very easy for our next step, for the management step related to forced spine. Okay, so here have an important examination related to forced examination. So we all are know spine comes under to nervous system. So that's why here neurological examination is very important examination, and as well as we all are know different kind of neurological symptom also showing in a condition of forced spine. So it is very helpful for detect that kind of symptoms by the neurological examination. Okay, so through neurological examination of the limbs, upper or lower, depending on the site of TB, should be performed in addition to motor and sensory reflexes examination, and assessment should be made of urinary or bowel functions. Okay, so this kind of thing is very important, helpful parameter or thing for the detecting the condition of forced spine, because we all are know if person is suffered by the forced spine, that condition, that person motor and sensory function also affect. Okay, so that's why we perform neurological examination. Here have some aim of neurological examination. So first aim is whether of not there is any neurological compression, level of neurological compression and severity of neurological compression. That three things is very important aim for detection of the condition forced spine by the neurological examination. Okay, it means if we perform neurological examination, that condition we are capable to detect the problems related to neurological or nervous system, like motor system problem and sensory system problems. If person have any kind of ability abnormality related to reflexes, any kind of reflexes like sensory and motor reflexes. Okay, so that kind of thing we just detect by the neurological examination. Okay, let's go. We will see next thing, spinal TB diagnosis. So here have some radiological diagnosis also available for forced spine, like first a plain radiograph. Radiograph means X-ray in spine. Then second thing CT scan. Then next thing is MRI spine and bone scan. So that fourth kind of thing is imaging investigation for detection the condition of a spine. We just detect suffered area and location and site of the affected part of the spine by that particular by this kind of imagination investigation. Okay, okay. And next thing is, in the right side you are capable to see TB based villi are the rarely found in CSF. Therefore, imaging plays important role in the suggestive the diagnosis. Students, we all are know CSF is circulated in the site of spine, in spine which area? Subarachnoid area. So in a subretinal area, CSF fluid, in a CSF fluid where there is having very rare chance for the TB bacilli bacteria is applicable there, but we are capable by detect the these three kind of investigation tools for helpful tools condition of Pott's spine. Okay. Now let's go on. Lab studies. Here have some important lab studies for the Pott's spine, means TB in spine. So one important investigation is available for detection the condition related to TB, every kind of TB. Okay. So that particular test name is skin test, tuberculin skin test. Okay, it is important test for the TB patient. So what we do and how we can detect the TB by this kind of investigation. So we just provide patient purified protein derivative, okay, and in subcutaneously. Then after, if person have any kind of the sensitivity reaction in the injected area, that condition that patient have a chance for TB. Demonstrate a positive finding in 84 to 95% of patients who are non-HIV positive. So tuberculin skin test is a very important test for the detection patient related to TB. Now the second thing is erythrocyte segmentation rate may be markedly elevated in a condition of TB. It is very sure if person is suffered by the TB, that condition, that patient ESR parameter is definitely increased in duration of TB period. Okay students, now the next thing is the enzyme linked immunosorbent assays, ELISA. Okay, it is short form is ELISA, has a reported sensitivity of 60 to 80% if a person is suffered by the TB, that condition, that patient ELISA test is sensitivity, it is test for the sensitivity reaction basically, and it is reported in 60 to 80% if patient is suffered by the TB, so that condition. Okay, then next is a PCR. It is also a parametric test for the condition of TB, and Brucella complements fixation test, also one kind of parameter is lab study test for the helpful test condition of the Pott's spine or TB condition. Okay, so this all kind of test is comes under to lab study for the condition of patients suffered by the any kind of TB, but it is also helpful for the Pott's spine, because we all are know students, Pott's spine, it means TB in spine. Okay, so we will see next thing. Okay, here have a treatment option and treatment portion for the TB condition. Which kind of TB condition? Pott's spine means spine TB. So the aim of treatment is to achieve healing of disease and to prevent, detect early and probably any complication like the paraplasia. So our main aim for the treatment of the Pott's spine is to detect the condition, then after with treatment of complication and with treatment of particular condition, and we prevent the complication like paraplasia, etc. Okay, so it is our aim for the condition of treatment period of Pott's spine, definitely. Now the next thing is rest. Bed rest for pain relief and to prevent further collapse and dislocation and diseased vertebra. So it is very important initial things and initial component for the condition of treatment in comes under to Pott's spine. If patient is proper taking rest, that condition, that patient pain level definitely reduce, as well as person also the prevent collapse condition of the spine, and as well as dislocation of the vertebra period by the proper taking rest. So we are proper encourage patient to take rest in a duration of the Pott's spine. Okay. Now the next thing for cervical spine, Mirva jacket and collar is very important tool for providing the patient, if patient is suffer the Pott's spine, and that condition, that patient cervical spine may be the chances of fact. So that condition, both kind of jacket we provide patient for the maintaining the immobilization and preventing for the complication. Okay. So it is comes under to treatment. Now we will see next thing related to treatment option. Building a patient is resistance, high protein diet. So basically if patient is suffer by POTS spine, so that condition we just encourage patient and provide the high protein diet for the maintaining proper immunity level and preventing the further complication that particular related disease. Okay, now the ATT, this remains the cornerstone of management, completed by rest, nutritional support and implanting as necessary in a condition initial period of the POTS spine. There is different of options regarding the duration of drug therapy, and short course chemotherapy for 9 to 10 months has shown good result in patient, and antibiotic also very helpful medicine for the condition of POTS spine for the preventing of infection level by the inflammatory reaction duration of the TB in spine. For persistently draining sinus which get secondary infection by the POTS spine, that's why we are providing proper antibiotic medicine, bed sore care, and to treat other comorbid conditions. So we just prevented by the proper providing bed care in a condition of patient suffer by the POTS spine, because we all are know students, spine is our very important ligament and framework for our body. So if patient is suffer any kind of problem related to spine, that condition that patient is not proper able to do any kind of thing, so that condition patient is definitely going to bedridden, okay, some period. So that's why person have a bedridden in a condition of POTS spine, that condition we provide proper back care for the preventing of further complication related to backside. Okay, so this all kind of thing is very important investigation thing for the condition of POTS spine. If patient is suffer POTS disease, that condition we are proper maintaining that kind of things. Now mobilization. So mobilization is also very important tool for the maintaining skeletal system, and spine is very important major parts for the skeletal system. So we just maintain mobilization in a period of POTS spine. Gradually as improvement being sit and walk, the spine is supported with the collar and brace, and cold abscess may subside with the ATT if present. Superficially may need the aspiration, anti-gravity insertion of needle through the zigzag track or the evacuation. Sinus mostly heal within a 6 to 12 weeks. If no improvement, excision of tract. So basically how we can provide the mobilization and maintain mobilization, we just provide the collar, cervical collar and brace in the which area, in the lumbar spine and cervical side for the maintaining the mobilization. If we proper provide collar and put collar, that condition we are capable to maintain mobilization of that particular patient. And next thing, cold abscess, we all are know if a person is suffer POTS spine. So already we seen one symptom is showing cold abscess. Abscess means accumulation. So here that kind of problem is also arising. So what we do, we just prefer needle aspiration and insertion of needle in the site of accumulated part superficially, and we just aspirate that particular accumulated fluid and parts by the needle aspiration through the zigzag track. Okay. And next thing, sinus mostly heal within a 6 to 12 week if we are providing proper antibiotic. That condition sinus or sinusitis we just treated by the providing proper antibiotic dose. And if no improvement, which kind of improvement, sinus as well as abscess, that condition what we do, we just prefer excision of the tract. If excess is a excessive amount, cold excess is a very excessive amount, and we are not capable by the aspirating by the needle aspiration, so we just that particular condition perform excision of the tract, and we remove the accumulated part by the excision of the tract. Okay, so this three thing is also very important thing for the condition of POTS spine. Okay students, now we will next thing, conservative treatments also available and adopting in a condition of POTS spine. So here have some conservative treatment, like first line chemotherapy comes under to conservative treatment for the condition of Pott's spine. So here two kind of conservative drugs in first line chemotherapy is accepting medicine for the condition of Pott's spine. Let's see which kind of drug comes under this. Bactericidal drugs. So there is having to four kind of bactericidal drug is accepting medicine for the condition of Pott's spine, like example isoniazid. If you all are know, this kind of medicine is comes under the bactericidal drugs for the first time chemotherapy drugs. Okay, now isoniazid dose 5 mg per kg we prefer in a condition of Pott's spine conservative treatment situation. Now next drug is rifamycin. Rifamycin is 10 to 15 mg per kg. Streptomycin 20 mg per kg. Parazinamide 20 to 25 mg per kg. So this kind of drug is comes under to conservative treatment for the condition of Pott's spine. Now the second next drug is bacteriostatic drugs. So ethambutol is comes under the bacteriostatic drugs agent, and it is also helpful medicine for treatment condition of Pott's spine, and dose are 25 mg per kg and 2 months. Then this dose is consisting to 25 doses consisting in 2 months, and then after the 2 months, if person is not proper healing that condition, also we provide that kind of this kind of medicine 15 mg per kg. Okay, so this particular kind of medicine is also helpful medicine for treatment the condition of Pott's spine. Okay, here have some newer drugs also for the condition of Pott's spine, like example amikacin, kanamycin, carpromycin, ciprofloxacin, ofloxacin, levofloxacin, rifabutin, clarithromycin, clofazimine, and ethambutol and cycloserine. This kind of drug comes under the newer drug for the first time chemotherapy drugs, and this particular kind of drug is also very accepting drug for the condition of Pott's spine. Okay, so it's all related to pharmacological therapy for the condition of Pott's spine. Now we will see some surgical management also available for Pott's spine. So let's go, we will see. Okay, here have some surgery, there is having total 4 kind of surgery for the accepting condition of Pott's spine. First surgery is decompression, and decompression it is also comes under to laminectomy surgery. It means both are very similar. Okay, so what is decompression, student? Decompression surgery. So basically it is also comes under to laminectomy. I already told you. Open the bony canals in a condition of decompression, and through which the spinal cord and nerve pass, creating more space for them to move freely. Okay, and then after we provide the decompression, and it is called a decompression surgery, and we just treat by that particular kind of process. Okay, and what is the indication? So indication of decompression surgery, so to advance decompression failure to respond to the conservative therapy. So basically if any kind of conservative therapy and any kind of another pharmacological therapy are felt in a condition of Pott's spine, that condition we perform decompression surgery or fusion surgery. Okay, now the next surgery is debridement and decompression plus fusion. So we all are know decompression, we already seen in first thing. Now second thing is a debridement. So what is debridement, students? Debridement is a procedure for the treating a wound in the skin. So in a condition of Pott's spine, it is also possible to nearby skin of the spine is also suffered by the Pott's spine and tibia of this spine. So that condition we just doing debridement surgery and debridement procedure in a condition of Pott's spine. So it is a procedure for treating a wound in the skin. It involves thoroughly cleaning the wound and removing all hyperkeratonic and thickened skin or callus, okay, by the surgical procedure. So basically, by this kind of debridement surgery, we just remove the thickened part of infected skin in a duration of Pott's spine. Okay. Now, the indication of debridement surgery is a recurrent of disease or of neural complication. Is an indication for the performing the debridement surgery. Now, the next, anterior transposition of cord, and it is also called the extrapleural anterolateral approach. So basically what we do, transposition of the cord means anterior part is the severe affected, that condition which is the transposition of that particular part, okay, in this kind of surgery. So severe nephrosis, 60% neural defect, this condition we perform the anterior transposition cord. Neural defect, it is comes under to spinal problem, it is a neurological problem and congenital problem, okay. So if a person is suffer neurological defect, neural defect, so that condition will perform anterior transposition of cord surgery. Okay students, now the last surgery related to Pott's spine or spine surgery is laminectomy. So students, we all are know tomy means what? Tomy means removal. So laminectomy is a surgery that creates space by removing the lamina. Lamina is which part? In the between the vertebra there is presented lamina, one kind of part, and so we just remove by the surgically in a condition of laminectomy the back of the vertebra that covers your spinal canal. Okay, so that particular part is comes under to lamina. Which kind of part? Vertebra cover part is comes under to lamina. So we just remove by the surgically in a condition of laminectomy surgery, and also known as the decompression surgery. I already told you laminectomy is also comes under to decompression surgery. Laminectomy enlarges your spine canal to remove pressure on the spinal cord or nerves. Okay, so we just prevent compression of the nerves by the laminectomy surgery, because if excessive amount and excessive part is affecting an area of the spine, that condition if we are not proper treated and proper not removing that part, affected part, so that condition definitely have a chance to excessive pressure over the spinal cord. Okay, so we just surgical remove of lamina part in a duration of in a surgery of laminectomy procedure. Okay students, now the indication of laminectomy surgery: extradural granuloma, tuberculoma, old healed disease presenting as secondary canal stenosis, posterior spinal disease. So this kind of condition is the indication period for the which kind of surgery? Laminectomy surgery. Okay, so it's all about surgical management related to Pott's spine. I hope you all are understand student related to surgical management. Let's go, we will see next thing. Okay, here I have some complication about Pott's spine. So first complication, paraplasia. What is paraplasia? It means weakness of muscle in the lower limbs. Okay, so definitely it is possible. Why? Because now affected in the condition of Pott's spine. Cold abscess, just because of the inflammation infection occur in the spine, that condition cold abscess is also have a chance. Sinusitis or sinus, it is also possible in a duration of Pott's spine, just because of the inflammatory reaction. Also in spreading that particular kind of inflammatory reaction in the sinus part, that situation. Secondary infection means what? By the Pott's spine have a chance to another kind of infection also leading that particular condition, and that particular infection is considered to secondary infection. So it is also possible. Okay, amyloid disease also have a chance in a condition of if we are not proper treating the Pott's spine, and if all kind of treatment is failed, that condition have a chance that particular kind of complication. Okay, so it's all about the complication related to Pott's spine. I hope you all are understand about the Pott's spine. Okay, so here our topic is completed. Which kind of topic and which topic? Pott's spine, students. Thank you for listening me. and if you have any doubts, so please ask me.